Welcome back to another video, traders, and if you're new to the channel, welcome to Tesla Trends. I'm TJ. We got a great video for you today, but before we get into that, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Alright, let's take a look at the chart. So we had the much anticipated earnings report today after hours, and it was a positive report. I believe they're up about 74% revenue wise compared to last year. It was a slight earnings beat regarding estimates. It was a fairly flat day where opened up early in pre-market and just kind of chopped around all day, closed up about 9 points, and then fell sharply right before the earnings report was released. Ended up bouncing off the top of the growth channel and chopping around a little bit. Right now we're down about 20 points to 719 after the close and the release of the earnings. And it was actually pretty busy. It was almost, honestly, for 2 or 3 hours after the market closed, trading volume was still pretty elevated. So a lot of people trading in anticipation of earnings and in response to this earnings report as well. But honestly, it's fairly consistent and positive, in line with the last couple of earnings reports, and yet still underwhelming, right? A couple of things to note. It's kind of my biggest takeaway from the report anyway, which is kind of in line with the last couple of reports. Net profit was $438 million this quarter, but they had $518 million from regulatory credit sales, and they also had $101 million from Bitcoin that was sold. So $619 million revenue unrelated to the core business. So if you take that away, net profit from the core Tesla businesses is minus $181 million. Now that's a very simple math, and you can take that with a grain of salt. Obviously, it's great that they have these other revenue generating pipelines, but most people anticipate the biggest portion of their revenue, which is the regulatory credit sales, is going to decline over time as other automakers get more into electric and hybrid vehicles. They're not going to need to purchase as many credits. So at some point, obviously, the core business is going to have to become profitable, and obviously that's why Tesla's share price is where it is, despite the fact that they don't actually generate revenue from their core business at this point. People are anticipating at some point Tesla is obviously going to be very profitable. So let's take a look at the chart just a little bit here. If we zoom out, we'll just look here. This is a 10-day, 10-minute chart, and obviously we are still kind of trending down. We're above this downtrend line from a couple of weeks ago after this big pre-market pop out to 786. We're above that line, but we're still kind of following it, trending down. We have continued to bounce off the top of the growth channel, which is great to see. But one thing that I looked at in preparation for this video were the last couple of earnings reports back in October. It was a similar report. Positive sales due mostly to regulatory credits. There was a little bit of a run-up, and after the report came out, over the next week or two, we pretty quickly came down and bounced off the bottom of the growth channel. Came up a little bit, bounced again, and then saw this huge run that we had. Now, the most recent report in late January, after coming out to the all-time high at 900, we had a similar report, positive revenue due mostly to regulatory credits, and over the next month and a half or so, that was the end of January, we ended up coming down to test the bottom of this channel roughly in the beginning of March, so a little over a month. So if we're going to recognize that pattern, it wouldn't be crazy to think that over the next couple of weeks or months we'll come down and test the bottom of this channel again before bouncing, and hopefully seeing a nice big move. But right now we are still in sort of a short-term downtrend, so that looks entirely possible, especially after the response to this earnings report. And that's kind of what I'm thinking at this point. So it's difficult to get bullish after you see the response to the report like that. Tomorrow is a new day, though, and as we've seen lately, Tesla's movement is really more dependent upon the major indexes than anything else. And if there were any other catalysts out there, I think the earnings report that came out now is really the biggest one that we've been waiting on. For full self-driving news might be the next one, but it sounds like those things continue to get delayed. There was a slight mention in the conference call. I don't think it's anything to be too immediately optimistic about in the short term. So what I'm thinking now, and I've talked about this a little bit over the past few weeks, is that we will come down and test the bottom of the price channel like we have after the last two earnings reports. It just seems like the pattern that we're into. And we've seen when that does happen, people eagerly buy the stock. You get down into a place where people say Tesla looks pretty cheap, and everyone wants to get involved. So at these levels, with an earnings report that's not as exciting as maybe everyone hoped, we don't have as many buyers. But down here in the bottom of the channel, there's a lot more buyers. So we'll see what the markets do over the next couple of weeks. But right now, that's kind of what I'm anticipating. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like. It really helps out the channel. And I apologize to anyone that watches these videos regularly for not having one on Friday or this weekend. I've been very busy this week. I have finals coming up, and last week and certainly the next 6 or 7 days are going to be really busy. So this might actually be the only video that I'm able to do this week. And now that the stock has kind of calmed down, I think we've sort of grown out of this startup phase and into, Tesla's a behemoth now. It doesn't move quite like it used to. I'm thinking that maybe daily videos aren't necessary anymore, and I might just move to a weekly basis, or maybe twice a week. Who knows? But I wanted to get your guys' input. So if you like the daily videos and you want that to continue, please let me know in the comment section. If you think that weekly videos are fine, just leave a like on the video if that would be all right. Because, there's not necessarily a new update every single day, right? Or a huge price move. If there is, I'm sure I would do a video on it. But let me know in the comments if you'd like me to continue doing daily analysis, or leave a like on the video if you think that switching to just weekly videos would be fine. And thanks for watching, guys. As always, let me know what you think about the video in the comments as well. And please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, of course. And I'll see you guys next week after my finals are over.